श्रीमात्रे नमः। श्रीकांतो मातलो सजन्नी सर्वमंगला जनकाः शंकरो महादेवः त्वं वन्दे गजाननम्। विमलपटी कमलपुटी पुस्तकरुद्राक्षसहस्रपुटी कामाक्षी पक्ष्मलाक्षी कल्तविपंची विभासि वैरिंची मनोजवं मारुतुल्यवेगं जितेन्द्रियं बुद्धिमतां वरिष्ठं वातात्मजं वानरयूथमुख्यं श्रीरामदूतं शिरसा नमामि। आपदामपहर्तारं दातारं सर्वसम्पदां लोकाभिरामं श्रीरामं भूयो भूयो नमाम्यहम्। श्रीराम राम रामेति रमे रामे मनोरमे सहस्रनाम तत्तुल्यं रामनाम वरानने ज्ञानानन्दमयं देवं निर्मलस्फटिकाकृतिम् आधारं सर्वविद्यानां हयग्रीवमुपास्महे। विमलपटी कमलपुटी पुस्तकरुद्राक्षसहस्रपुटी कामाक्षी पक्ष्मलाक्षी कल्तविपंची विभासि वैरिंची पूर्वे सर्वलोकानां विश्जय भवरोगिणां निधे सर्वविद्यानां श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। शिवशक्त्या युक्तो यदि भवति शक्तप्रभवितुं न चेदेवं देवो न खलु कुशलः स्पन्दितुमपि अतस्त्वामाराध्यं हरिहरविरिञ्चादिभिर्प्रणन्तुं स्तोतुं वा कलमुकृतपुण्यः प्रभवति। Now, today's class, we will basically talk about the 52nd Slokam that continues to talk about mother's eyes and the influence it brings on Shiva. The Slokam goes like Gate Karnabharnam Garuta. Many books have this as Garuda, but it's Garuta. Gate Karnabharnam Garuta iva Pakshmani dadati Puram Betuschidda Prasma Vidravana Fale Ime Netre Gotra Darapati Kulotam Sakalike Tava Karna Krishna Smara Sara Vilasam Kalayataha. What does this mean essentially? Gate Karnabharnam. Gate Karnabharnam means approaching. Your eyes are approaching Karna Abharnam, to the earrings, almost to the edge of the ears. If somebody's eyes are spreading from the nose to ears, would it be really beautiful to see? If you think about it, it won't be. But the specific meaning when Jagadguru is saying Gate Karnabharnam, mother is spreading her eyes just like a mother would look at her babies when they are around. So mother is spreading her eyes, longing to watch that Parama Yogi Shiva. How much is she spreading? She's spreading to the corners of the ears, which means she is longing to look for Shiva. This is talking about the Parvati Avataram. When Sati Devi sacrificed her body, a lot of people think when Daksha Yagna happened, Sati Devi, by the way, Daksha Yagna happened, the place Daksha Yagna was completely destroyed is a place called Draksharamam near the Kakinada of the current day Kakinada, which is in the state of Andhra Pradesh. There the Draksharamam, Pancharamas are there, in which Draksharamam is there. That's where the Daksha Yagnam was completely destroyed by Veerabhadra. Now, when Sati Devi, who went there uninvited to, no daughter needs invitation to reach out to her parents' place even after wedding. But when she went there, her husband was insulted by Daksha. Right? He was doing a Nirishwara Yagam. Without inviting Ishvara to the Yagna and the Yaga he was performing. Therefore, that Yagam was incomplete and it had to be destroyed. Shiva does not have special love, revenge, anger on anyone, right? He's tatastha, neutral. Whether you pray to Shiva, you don't pray to, you love Shiva, you hate Shiva, he's neutral. That's the reason. He is the Parama Shiva, right? Or Sada Shiva, he's eternal. Just because somebody is saying a lot of prayers does not mean he becomes their favorite, right? Or they become his favorite. When we pray, what happens to us, the Veda has a rule. Whenever a being says a mantra, speaks or chants a mantra, that mantra adhisthana devata has to give a boon, because the energy transfers that happen when you keep saying Hara Om Namah Shivaya, Panchakshri Om Namah Shivaya is a Guru mantra, so can't be chanted just like that without taking the initiation. But if you really long for Shiva, you can chant many other names. Shiva, you can keep repeating Shiva, Shiva, Shiva. You can keep repeating Sambasada Shiva. You can keep repeating, Arunachala Shiva, Sri Saila Shiva, whatever you want. But Om Namah Shiva, Panchakshari and Sadakshari. Namah Shiva is Panchakshari. When you add Om to it, becomes Sadakshari. Right? These are Guru mantras that need to be initiated with the help, with the grace and the kindness of a Guru. Only then we can chant. No Vedic mantras can be chanted without the initiation of the Guru. Therefore, our Vedas also give us the bypass routes. When you need to chant Om Namah Shivaya, if you add Hara Om Namah Shivaya, okay, it becomes a mantra as well that you, I, everyone without even Guru Diksha can chant. If you really want and really are longing for a mantra and no Guru has happened to come your way physically or in the spiritual mental plane and give you the mantra, then what would happen is as you move with the desire to get the Guru mantra, right? Continue to pray to Shiva because he is the Guru of Gurus to get the Guru mantra Diksha. If you don't, after 40 days, you can take a Ravi. I don't know what Ravi is called, maybe people in English, right? Ravi leaf, and you can write the mantra on it and keep it overnight under the people or Ravi Vriksham. And next day morning at sunrise, if you are taking that leaf and chanting, imagining Shiva is giving you that mantra in the right ear, that's as good as you getting the mantra diksha from the Guru of Gurus, Dakshinamurti Shiva himself. Okay, these are some of the tricks and tips and roundabouts that are given in our Veda. A lot of times when you really move desperately for a guru or a mantra, you will get mantras even in your sleep state. That is my personal experience. When I was given the initial mantras by the guru and my guruji had to leave the physical body and get into samadhi, the next stages of different mantras all were initiated either in the state of sleep or in the state of deep meditation. Right? People who are believers in the faith of Sanatana Dharma would experience this. People who think, there is a sect of people who think, in Telugu there's a saying, mantra chintakayalu raltaya, means if you are chanting mantra, will any fruit bearing tree, will it drop the fruits? Okay, so yad bhavam tad bhavati. Faith is the strongest root of Sanatana Dharma. If you see Kumbh Mela, what happens in Kumbh Mela? So why do so many people gather there? And recently, some scientists have conducted experiments to see the power of the aura of the Ganga water, right, which is there in YouTube and other places you can see. It went 3 times more than the regular time in Prayagraj, and other places where Kumbh Mela is being celebrated, right? Haridwar, Nasik, Shipra, and Ujjain, and the Prayagraj. Now, when we take a dip into that water, what happens is that energy that is there in the water gets infused into us. So normal days, if you are taking a bath in the Ganga water at Prayagraj, if it is 1, during the Kumbh Mela, it becomes 3x. Now, the Vedic belief is whoever takes a dip there will get moksha. But the same thing was told by Adi Shankaracharya, that if we continue to do sins and take a dip in Kumbh Mela, it will rinse our sins to some extent, but it won't give a moksha. It's just like a crocodile that is living in Triveni Sangamam. It is living there to see who is going to take a dip and I can drag their feet in. So the most important root is faith. Now, going back to the mantras and the power, when we keep chanting these mantras, to chant a mantra, you need to follow certain rules, like sit somewhere, preferably same direction every day, depending on your planetary positions. Every one of us will have a very favorable direction and not so favorable direction. So when you sit in sometimes in some directions, knowingly or unknowingly, you will have a great puja, a great meditation, a lot of satisfaction. So if you continue to sit in the same direction, you will understand that that is your favorable direction. If you sit in a direction and your puja is completely distracted, your puja is completely, being disturbed again and again, that probably is your unfavorable direction. So you have to keep experimenting and trying this multiple times to understand, right? Some people buy horoscope, South might be supporting them by their horoscope. Generally, South is a Yamasthana, so we say don't turn to South and pray. But there are people whose horoscope supports South. And then when they pray turning towards the south, because Yama is the Dikpalaka of south, they have to keep a picture of Dakshinamurti looking at the south, right? And therefore continue to pray. So they are continue to protect. And when they are praying turning towards south, Dakshinamurti, who is sitting on the north wall and watching the south of direction, will continue to protect her or him. Okay. Now, this is the reason when we chant a mantra, the god or goddess or the mantra Adhisthana Devata might or might not appear to you, but they have to give the equivalent punyam to you. This is the reason when Kunti Devi chanted the mantra to test whether the mantra will work or not, that was given by Durvasa Maharshi. And she looked at Surya and she was mesmerized by the beauty of the morning rising sun. And she chanted the mantra when sun appeared in front of her. He said, "What do you want, Kunti?" She said, "I don't want anything. I just wanted to test the mantra." He said, "Sorry, the Vedic mantras don't work that way. I have to give you something and go. Since you looked at me and you were mesmerized with my beauty of the rising sun, may you be blessed with a baby boy who will have my tejas." And therefore, Kunti became a mother even before her wedding because of the mantra's power. This same mantra continued to ensure the Kuruvamsam, the lineage of Pandavas and Kauravas, continued when Panduraju got married to Kunti and Madri. Because of the curse he had, why was he cursed? He shot at the couple of a deer which were in union. And when he shot the arrow at the male deer, it turned out the couple deer were Rishi and Rishi Patni that were basically roaming in the forest in the form of deer. So when his arrow hit the male deer, the the Rishi gave a sapam to Panduraju. Whenever you move with lust and try to unite with your wife or wives, your head will it will split into 1,000 pieces. So Panduraju took Vanaprastha and started living with his wife, trying to do dhyana. But one day he was so moved with lust that he dragged his younger wife Madri, and as he dragged with lust, even before he could move further, his head split into 1,000 pieces. Now, Madri wanted to do Sati Sahagamanam, right? To offer herself with her husband's physical remains. But if he leaves, if they leave and they don't have kids, now Kunti can no longer bear kids. During that time, Kunti actually chanted, gave the mantra to Madri and said, "You also chant, I'll also chant." So they chanted, Kunti Devi chanted the mantra thinking of Yamadharmaraj. Therefore, Dharmaraj was born. Kunti Devi chanted the mantra thinking of Vayudeva. Therefore, Bhima was born. Kunti Devi chanted the mantra thinking of Indra. Therefore, Arjuna was born. Nakula and Sahadeva were born to Madri when she chanted thinking of the Ashwini Kumaras. Right now, these are Aurasaputras born through the mantra, power of mantra. And it gets accelerated. It does not have to stay 9 months or 10 months like, the human babies are born because of their power. And after that, Madri did the Sahagamanam with her husband. But Kunti continued to take care of the 5 kids who became Pancha Pandavas. Okay. Now, the reason I'm telling you all of this is when you sit and chant the mantras are bound to give you positive outcomes. Whether you can see them, measure them, or not, they will. Depending on as your power increases, you will be able to see the God. You will be able to befriend God. I'm being reminded of the Narsimha Avatara that came to kill Hiranyakaspu. And when Narsimha killed all the gods that were there, including Brahma, were hiding at the back of a pillar. Then, as Narsimha Avatara was calming down, the first question he asked Prahlada was, all the gods that continue to pray to me eternally are scared and hiding behind a pillar. Are you not scared? You are sitting, you are coming closer to me and standing. Are you not scared, with my aggressive and ferocious form? Is what he asked the baby Prahlada. Prahlada answered with lot of peace and pleasure, saying, "O Lord, I thought I will look at your face when I am satisfied looking at your feet. From the moment you have taken this avataram, I'm only looking at your feet. Your feet are so sweet that my focus is not even moving beyond the nails of your feet, the toenails. And so I did not even get a chance to look at your ankles and knees, forget about your face. And a person whose toenails are so sweet and beautiful, how can his face be ugly? So therefore, I did not even think that for a moment, my Lord, was Prahlada's answer to that Narsimha Avatara. Okay. Now, when mother's eyes are extending out, going back to the Sati Devi story, if somebody's eyes are spreading out until ear, it would actually look pretty ugly. But in mother's case, it says she is longing to look for Shiva. In the Daksha Yagnam, when Nirishwara Yagnam was performed, the Yagnam had to be destroyed. Veerabhadra and Bhadrakali were sent by Shiva to restore Dharma. He does not have any favorites, does not have enemies. He is Ajata Sutru. Therefore, he also gives varas to his devotees who are wanting to destroy him. Like, look at Bhasmasura, who did tapasya on Lord Shiva and asked whosever head I keep the hand on, they should turn into ashes. The moment Shiva gave the boon, Bhasmasura wanted to test it on Shiva. That's when Vishnu took the Mohini avatara, came and Vishnu distracted Bhasmasura with, the beauty of Mohini, which is borrowed from mother by doing a Bijakshara Dhyanam on mother. So Vishnu became Narayana and Narayani are sisters. Narayana borrowed the beauty, feminine beauty of Narayani, and therefore distracted Bhasmasura and made him dance out of the eyes filled with lust. Bhasmasura did not realize, and Vishnu said, you have to repeat and imitate the same thing I do. And Bhasmasura was continuing to follow. Instantly, after some time, Vishnu kept his hand in the Mohini Avataram on the head. Bhasmasura tried replicating it, and then immediately Bhasmasura turned into ashes. Then Vishnu, in the form of Mohini Avatara, went and bore the baby Ayappa for Lord Shiva because that was a boon. One of the Rakshasas, Mahishasura's sister Mahishi asked that when Shiva and Vishnu bear a baby boy, I will only die in his hands. And therefore Vishnu had to come in the Mohini Avataram. Therefore Ayappa is called Hariharaputra Ayappa, right? And Ayappa also heals and helps in recovering from all the diseases because Matacha Dhanvantri, in Ayappa's names it comes. Pradamo Daivyo Bishaku. Shiva is the first doctor of all the cosmos. Father is a doctor, mother is Vishnu, who is also Dhanvantri, who came out with a pot of medicines. And the one who is born to them, if he cannot cure our illnesses and sickness, who are cured, is one of the mantras of Ayappa that comes in Ayappa Namas. Now, Sati Devi, a lot of people think she jumped into the Yagna Kundam. No, it's an insult to jump into the Yagna Kundam because it's Nirishwara Yagna, right? The fire has been invoked without Ishvara, so she will never touch anything without Ishvara. Mother invoked her Yogagni from inside her navel and she offered her body to it because she heard her own husband's insults. So she realized no longer I should live. Then, when Parvati Devi was born to Himavan and Menaka, the mother longed for Shiva and she continued to do seva to the Yogi Siva, and she was watching constantly. She became Aparna. She continued to do Jalabhaksham, Vayubhaksham. Before she got into Vayubhaksham, she would eat one leaf a day. Then it became one leaf a week. Then it became one leaf in 2 weeks, one leaf a these leaves are the dry leaves that are falling from the tree. Therefore, she's called Aparna. When her body completely diminished to a skeleton covered on skin, that's when Shiva opened his eyes and looked at her and said, "Oh, beautiful Parvati." If somebody else were to look at it, they would find her very emancipated. Mother in any form cannot be ugly, so we can't even think that she's ugly, right? Because she is the definition of beauty. She is the Soundarya Lahari. However, your mother is, my mother is, irrespective of their medical state, irrespective of their physical state, irrespective of their age, we can always hug them, kiss them without bias. That is the beauty of mother, nothing to do with physical aspects of it, right? Whether they have gray hair, no hair, doesn't matter, right? Now, I'm being reminded of a Slokam from Mukha Panchasati. It goes as Mohandakara nivahantu vinihantu mide mukatmanam api mahakavitvadyanyan Srikanchi Deshi Shishirakriti Jagurakan Ekamranatha Taruni Karunavalokan. This is, if I remember it right, it's the first slokam of Kataksha Satakam. Okay. This is how mother functions in you and I, right? Parapashanti Madhyama Vaikari. She continues to feed the thoughts at the right time to ensure the string of pearls that are coming out of us when we discuss, make an attempt to discuss about her or father's stories, she continues to feed them. Mohandakara nivihantu mi ni Mohandakara vinihantu mide. Does it say? Oh mother, your eyes are dispelling my mohandakaram. Moham is andakaram. Infatuation is moham. Whenever we are moving with moham, it's going to blind us. We'll not know the consequences. It says the slokam essentially means, oh mother, I'm praying to your compassionate glances, right? What do these compassionate glances that are coming from your eyes do? You are the concert. If we go to the last line of the slokam, it says, Ekamranatha Taruni Karunavalokan. Those of you who have gone to Ekamranath temple in Kanchipuram, you will see there's one mango tree which gives four mangoes, four different tasting mangoes. Ek Amranath essentially is the tree that gave birth to the four Vedas. Therefore, that tree that still is there, where we are not allowed to touch the tree because a lot of people used to pluck the leaves, okay, and therefore damage the tree. Now it is kind of protected. If you go there, you will see the Ekamranath temple. Ekamranatha Karuniva Valokan. So your compassionate glances, the consort of Ekamranath, O mother, if father is that plant, you are the Shakti to bear the fruit, which will ripen the fruit to four different tastes. Okay. And it says, you are dispelling the darkness of my attachment, infatuation, and the delusion of attachment. The people that I'm born to, the people that are born to me, it's good to be attached in Grihasthashram, but thinking that they are everything for us is moham. Thinking that we can't live without them, they can't live without us is moham. Okay, you will see even a very loving wife or husband, when their counterpart passes away in the flow of time, because everybody has to go at one point of time, they will not address that person anymore. They'll say, please take out the body. The moment prana leaves, they will not address that person with the name. They'll say, please take out the body. Shivatvam is gone. So the mohandakaram, make hay while sun shines. When I am blessed with able body, please bless me to realize this. And it says, Mukatma namapi maha kavitva danyan. So this is exactly what happens when you and I look at that mother's eyes that are spread from the starting point of the eye all the way to the ears, which is what we have to imagine. This is the form of the name which is called Visalakshi. In Kasi, you have Annapurna, Visalakshi. These are two different roles being performed by mother. Does not mean two different two different goddesses. In fact, if I remember it right, Shanmukha tells Agastya that, the names of my mother, Annapurna and Visalakshi, are two different names of the same mother, depending on the role she's performing. Visalakshi is when she is looking at all her creations, A Brahmakita Janani, and trying to protect them. Therefore, she is called Visalakshi. When she is continuing to feed the kids, whatever they eat, for carnivorous, she has to feed them with carnivorous food. For herbivorous, she has to give herbivorous food. For, all other omnivorous, she has to ensure the food is arranged for them. In the Annapurna Tattvam, she arranges that, right? Mukatmanapi. What happens when we are continuing to look at mother? There will be a flash second where her eyes will meet with her eyes and the energy transfers. When that energy transfers, what happens? Mukatmanapi mahakavitad dhanyan. Even people who are born with no vak siddhi or vak power, mukha does not mean people who cannot speak only. In this case, Mukha Panchasati, it became true. One of the Kanchipitam Paramacharyas who was Mukha, he started erupting out with the 500 shlokas on Mukha Panchasati, which is popularly called, right? Padaravinda Satakam, 100 shlokas on mother's feet, and Arya Satakam, 100 shlokas on mother's grandness, Mandasmita Satakam, 100 shlokas on mother's gentle smile, Kataksha Satakam, 100 shlokas on mother's eyes. The 500 shlokas that were composed by Mukha Shankara, as he was called, right, erupted out like a geyser would erupt out. Now, when we are living a life without realizing our true sense of purpose, which is to reach the feet of the divine parents, we are no different than Mukha. In fact, we are much more inferior. We cannot compare, at least I cannot compare myself with Mukha Shankara, right? I should not generalize it to, everyone. There will be many Mahatmas, hidden in the form of everyone. They don't just expose out. But I cannot compare myself with that Mukha Shankara. Therefore, when we don't realize the true value of the human life, being born in this Veda Bhumi Bharata, being born in Sanatana Dharma, how much access we have to reach to the next levels of higher planes. And therefore, we are mukhas. And when we continue to look at mother's eyes, the moment her eyes meet with our eyes, we will become Mahakavitva Danyan in our life. This Janma, you will get blessed with Soundarya Lahari. You will get blessed to read and understand the Mukha Panchasati. You will get blessed to read and understand the Srividya Granthas, Sastras, and the compositions, which encapsulate the meaning of Ramayana, Bhagavad Gita. So everything is a derivative energy. The Panchadasa, the Ashtadasa Puranas that Vyasa has written have come from the core Srividya concept of the Bindu, Trikona Bindu. If you look at Sri Chakram, in the center you have the Trikonam and the Bindu, where Shiva and Shakti are uniting. Everything has emerged out of it. Right? That's essentially where all these have come from. Vyasa has written Ashtadas Puranas. Vyasa has segregated Vedas from that one composition, Ekamra, to 4 different Vedas. right? Therefore, getting the name of Veda Vyasa. Okay. Now going back to our Slokam, the first word itself actually captured us until this time. Gate karna bharnam. Your eyes are spread until ears, just to tell you that it's not, the normal eyes that we are talking about. It's the mother's eyes that are longing for the Yogi Shiva. Okay. Then Garuta iva Pakshmani. Pakshmani is, what does Pakshmani dadati? Essentially, Pakshmani means your eyelashes are so very beautiful. How are they? They are appearing like the feathers of a bird. What does the feathers of a bird do? Feathers of the bird enable the bird to fly. When you are looking at mother's eyes, Kanchi Kamakshi or Kasi Visalakshi, as you look at mother's eye, Unmesh Nimishotpanna Vipanna Bonavalis, she's not going to blink her eyes. If she blinks her eyes, all the cosmos is gone in a second. So her beautiful eyelashes, when you're looking at it, you continue to float like a bird floats. You will start levitating. It's not easy to look at mother's eyes and eyelashes in your dhyana state. When you're able to look at that, your Kundalini is naturally ascending above Muladharam. The moment Kundalini leaves Muladhara, you will be able to levitate literally in the air. Okay. And Adi Shankaracharya has done, there are some YouTube videos where some of the Buddhist monks have done this levitation and have shown there are, and I have seen my Guruji and a couple of Guru Bhais do the levitation by raising their Kundalini and showing some of these siddhis by sitting on water and other things. These siddhis would naturally come through when they are on the path of realizing the self. Therefore, they get these superhuman abilities, which look dramatic and unrealistic to the people who have not seen or realized those. But the moment you see, then you will start believing that this is not really some gimmick or mesmerizing, right? And then what did we talk? Gate karnabharnam garudaiva pakshmani dadati puram betus chitta prasama rasa vidra vana fale. That's the second line. Puram betus chitta. Puram betus chitta essentially means Puram betu. Puram betu is the one who has brought an end to the three puras. Puram Bhetu is the one who can bring an end to our three states of existence, therefore can take us to the fourth and fifth state, right? The Turiya and Turiyatita state, taking us above and beyond the Jagrat, Swapna, and Sushupti, which is the three states of existence. Now, Chitta, Puram Bhetu Chitta Prasama Vidravana Fale. Prasama Rasa Vidravana Fale. What does Prasama Rasa mean? So prasamarasa vidravana means disturbing. Prasamarasa means the mental peace. The mental peace is being disturbed. Whose mental peace is being disturbed? The one who destroyed the three states, the one who is always in the fifth state. Shiva's mental peace is being destroyed. By whom? None other than Ime Netra. The next line says Ime Netre means, oh mother, your eyes are disturbing the Shiva's mental peace. Why would the wife want to disturb the mental peace of the husband? So you and I can be born. The yogi can turn into Bhogi, and therefore Mahakameshwara and Mahakameshwari can give birth to the cosmos, not to cause any other mental peace. Otherwise, if he's constantly closing his eyes and sitting in the form of a yogi, how will the whole cosmos come into existence? How will the whole karmic cycle function? How will the whole Lata Sahasranamam, Bandasura Vadodyukta Shakti Sena Samanvita, how will the stories of you and I will reach Kada Kanchiki Manamintiki? How will we go back to our creating in the mother who created us, the Kanchi Kamakshi? Therefore, she has to create a vibration. Shiva Shaktya Yukto. Shiva cannot move his little finger without that Shakti. So she is not someone who is outside of him. She is very much within. But now she is taking an external form. So you and I, the plants, the trees, the snakes, the creepers, everything can be born. First bar born the Prajapatis out of Brahma. Brahma himself, Brahma, Vishnu are born to mother Kameshwari and father Kameshwara. Therefore, they are called Jagatopitaro Vande Parvati Parameshwaro, as addressed by Mahakavi Kalidas. Right? You are Ime Netre Gotra Darapati Kulottamsa Kalike. This essentially means Ime Netre Gotra Darapati Kulottamsa Kalike. Himavan and Menaka Devi have many kids, but because you are born to them, you chose to be born to them. No parent or no mother or father has the energy to bear you. You should bless them by being born to them. And since you are born to them, Ime, Netre, Gotra, Darapati, Kulottam Sakalike, you are the foremost. You, because you are born to them, Himalayas became extremely famous. Because you are born to Himavan and Menaka, all the great yogis and saints run to Himalayas to take shelter in the caves to get your grace so they can get Paramashiva. Why? Because Himalayas is Himavanta is your father, and Himalayas are being preserved with the help of your mother Menaka Devi. Because you dwelled in those places, the Himalayas, your Shakti continues to spread. You played there with your friends. You grew up there. You did service to father there before you got married and settled down on the northeast corner of Himalayas, which is the most prayer worthy. Therefore, our puja rooms are also supposed to be typically set up in the northeast corner of the house. Northeast corner is where the divine typically resides. Therefore, northeast corner of our puja room always continues to, northeast corner of our house always continues to be the puja room. And if you can't put a puja room, you'll put a God's picture. And then you will continue to keep it as a kid's room, because the couple or the marital life cannot be, the couple cannot live through, their bedroom cannot be on the northeast because it's the puja room. And therefore, the Mount Kailash in the northeast, where Shiva and Parvati continue to live. And that's the reason Mount Kailash is extremely powerful, because the Shiva Parvati Kalyana was performed there. Many yogis in Sukshma, Stula, Karan Sariras continue to meditate there. There are caves in Mount Kailash even now, where great saints, great yogis will be allowed to go inside. Not everybody can go. Getting to Mount Kailash physically itself is a strenuous task. Not many people can go. It takes a lot of time and effort. So once, you know, she dwelled all these places, so the Shakti of mother, along with her Shakti, becomes triple because of her bhakti towards Paramashiva. Therefore, if you sit in those caves of Himalayas and chant, you have Vyasa Guha, you have Gomukh, there's so many places, so many caves in Himalayas. And all these caves basically have the energy reverberating of mother when she did tapasya, becoming Aparna for the husband. And therefore, you are the foremost of the kids. You are the most important kid of Himavanta and Menaka. Therefore, this line says, Ime netre gotra darapati kulosanta kalike tava karna krishna smara saravilasam kalayataha. What does it say? Tava karnam. Essentially, it says, O mother, your tava is your. I'm just looking at the picture of a mother here that is there, given by one of our group members and devotee who hand painted it. Looking at the big earrings, tava karna. Akarna essentially means your eyes that are spread onto your ears are attracting Father Shiva, causing mental disturbance in his yogic plane to transform into Bhogi. And therefore, your eyes, along with the eyelashes, and therefore the eyebrows, are becoming the bow of Manmada that are shooting arrows. Your eyes are the arrows, the eyelashes are the feathers that are at the back of the arrow, using which the arrows are being shot by Manmada, the same Manmada who was burned down into ashes. So he became Bandasura when Brahma gave him life, and therefore whole Lalita Sahasranamam was born to capture the story of Bandasura by Vagdevis. Your eyes, eyelashes, and eyebrows are becoming the eyebrows are the bow of the Manmada, eyes are the arrows, the eyelashes are the feathers. And when they are being shot at Shiva, the sunlight and the moonlight, that is your earrings, as they are reflecting, these bows that are being shot at Shiva when he tried opening the third eye, again thinking it is Cupid, that light is reflecting on these arrows. They are no longer able to burn because that Agni has now become Kama Agni. Okay, the Jnana Agni of third eye now has become Kama Agni, and therefore you are become Mahakameshwara. You are the one who destroyed the god of love, Cupid. Now you are moving with lust to unite with our mother. So therefore, all of us in the cosmos can be born. This is the meaning of this shlokam that essentially talks about what happens to us when we focus on mother's eyes. Our kundalini internally wakes up. Never do any sadhana to wake up the kundalini. The awakening of kundalini, the charging of kundalini and everything should be a byproduct of it. Just do the sadhana to get lost yourself in the process of sadhana. So you forget time, you forget what you're doing, you don't keep account of it. Enjoy and relish whatever sadhana you are doing. That is the process that will continue to lead us. And the Kundalini awakening or whatever is listed out naturally will come as a byproduct of it. Okay, how do you know you're progressing in sadhana? When you long to read one more. You don't do yantrika puja. Oh, I have to read Lata Sahasranamam, Katgamala, Trisati. I have to read this or Vishnu Sahasranamam. I have to read this Sri Rama Stotram Aditya Hridayam. Don't try to make it mechanical. Initially, it's okay if it's mechanical, but when you are not chanting that, your inner voice should say you are missing chanting that. And therefore, you should long to read it, to relish the beauty of it. That would only happen when you understand the meaning of it. Therefore, Lalita Sahasranamas, Lalita Rahasya Sahasranamas, or Lalita Sahasranamas, which are Rahasya Namas, you will relish them when you start understanding some of the meanings of the names. When you are chanting those names, Bandaputra Udokta, Bala Vikramanandita. How did Bala Tripur Sundari, the 8-year-old daughter of mother, went and killed the 40 sons of Bandasura? How playful she was. Along with her, on one side, Rajamatangi Devi was standing, the other side, Varahi Devi was standing in their rathas. But without taking their help, she herself, the 80-year-old form of Lalita Tripur Sundari called Bala Tripur Sundari, killed all the 40 kids of Bandasura very playfully. So when you are understanding the meanings of some of these names, you cannot escape getting into samadhi and the states of trance. They will naturally come through. That's what happens to us when we make an effort to chant these shlokas, and more importantly, relish the meaning of the shloka. That would only happen when Mother's grace is there upon us to ensure we continue to proceed to the next level by understanding the cryptic, secretive meanings that are there, very much hidden in these shlokas and stotras. That is a brief attempt at the 52nd slokam. And in brief, we discussed the Mukha Panchasati's Kataksha Satakam as well. And with that, we will conclude today's class and we will meet in the next class. I'll be traveling for next few weeks, so I'll try to record and post the sessions. Whenever time permits, I'll be traveling across time zones, but I'll make an attempt to record. These classes are not really classes for you. These classes are more classes for me because, as many of you know, I don't prepare to talk in these classes the way I want to. I just become an instrument and mic at the feet of the divine parents, and she chooses to bring whatever she wants to, in the form of sound, the Parapashanti Madhyama Vaikari. Therefore, this is a very selfish act of mine where I try to, in fact, I do go back, watch the recording and listen to, whatever speech is coming out, because it's not the words that I speak, it's the words and sentences that she blesses through as they come out. And therefore, I long more than any one of you to do these sessions, because this is a true meditation for me, where she chooses to speak through. And therefore, even I'm learning, because many of these things, when I go back and listen, I get surprised that I never read these things in this lifetime. I never learned Sanskrit in this lifetime, right? As some of you know. But the way she functions is nothing but her apara karuna, just to show how she chooses to function in all of us. All we need is infinite amounts of love and faith, and she'll take care of everything else. With that, we'll conclude today's class. Manasvi, if you are there, can you please chant Mangalam Gurshema?
Mangalam Guru Shri Chandramalishwarage Shakti Ganapati Sharadambike Shankaracharyanige Kala Bhairavage Kali Durgage Veera Dhira Sura Hanuma Maruti Charanage Mangalam Guru Shri.
Stay blessed. Shrimatre Namaha, and we'll meet in the next class.
Thank you.